Kahanap muli ng rason si Solicitor General Jose Calida para kumbinsihin ang Korte Suprema na ibasura ang petisyong inihain ni Senador Leila de Lima na humihiling na palayain siya kaugnay sa mga kasong may kinalaman sa iligal na droga. Git ni Solgen Calida, dinaya umano ni de Lima ang katasasang hukuman matapos itong magsumite ng palsipikadong dokumento. Anya, hindi rin personal na humarap at nanumpa si de Lima sa West kaya't may tuturing umano na invalid ang mga dokumento nito. Hinimok naman ni Solicitor General Jose Calida ang mga Pilipino na patuloy na suportahan si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at ang mga plano nito para sa ikabubutiho ng Pilipinas. Inagito ni Solgen Calida kasunod ng paghahain ng impeachment complaint laban sa Pangulo na isumano sa mga hakbang ng kanyang mga kritiko upang mapabagsak ang kanyang administrasyon. Tinuligsa rin ng Solgen sina Senador Antonio Trillanes IV at si Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano na kapwa dating mga sundalo po yan at nasa likod ng mutiny noon ni dating Pangulo at ngayon Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Git ni Calida, hindi magtatagumpay ang anumang destabilisasyon laban sa administrasyong Duterte.
Think about the real images that they're faced with too. I mean, in your mind, you pick up the newspaper and you look at the pictures from the drug war. It's heartbreaking, right? You see those people dying, a lot of people dying here.
How many now?
I haven't seen the latest.
Oh, they say 7,000.
7,000.
It's like this, ma'am. That's fake news. Saying that 7,000 were killed, were extrajudicially killed, meaning it's state-sponsored, ordered by the president. When Duterte announced that he has a list of 6,000 narco-politicians, it's complete with pictures, with names, and government posts. But when the anti-Duterte says there are 7,000 people dead, they couldn't even come up with names.
Well, the Philippine Inquirer has a kill list. It's been recording the names, the dates, the time,
Actually, the thing here is I'm not the spokesperson.
Right.
I shouldn't be answering that. But in my advice, you need to do more research because using kill list is it's wrong. Yeah. So I think you should interview Senator Alan Garda.
In your sense of it is that not that these people aren't dying, but that
sure, maybe they're killed because they were killed in legal operation by the police. But it isn't fair to say that those are EJKs, extrajudicial killings, meaning they're state-sponsored, they are ordered by the president.
Did he not say he would kill?
Well, of course, he always say that to threaten the criminals.
And then they died. So you know what I'm saying? Like you have to sort of at some point take him seriously, I would think.
Sure, yes, but he talks the language of the criminals, and it's not against the law to threaten criminals.
So do you worry about these drug deaths? So for the culture and the society.
You know what, madam? The killings have been happening ever since. In fact, there are more killings before. Farmers being killed. You're not familiar. You don't know the farmers were being killed?
I have never heard anybody say that there have been more killings in this stretch of time.
Well, I think, madam, you should do more research.
I should do more
research.
Yes. Okay. And what about you? Do you intend to do more research?
Of course, yes, sure.
Just, for example, on this post with the Lima. You said protect her, right?
I think you should do more research because I am getting the feeling that you see de Lima as innocent, as an innocent person.
I don't know what
you need to do more research, ma'am, because the Filipinos know who de Lima is. So please, madam, do your research.
Tibay na ng European Parliament ang resolusyong nanawagang palayain si Senadora Leila de Lima. Inuudyukan din ito ang European Union na alisin ang pribilehiyo ng Pilipinas na mag-export ng ilang produkto ng walang taripa o buwis. Saksi si Jam Sisante.
May resolusyon ng inaprobahan para ipanawagang palayain si Senadora Leila de Lima. hindi sa Pilipinas, kundi sa European Parliament na katumbas ng Kongreso ng European Union. Hiling din na resolusyon na inaprubahan ngayong araw ang sapat na seguridad para kay De Lima, gayon din ang patas na pagdinig, pagbasura sa mga kasong politically motivated umano at pagtapos sa anilay pangaharas sa senadora. Reaksyon ng palasyo, mali ang intindi ng mga naghain sa sitwasyon ni De Lima.
The lady is being charged with crime, not political persuasions. So I think they ought to respect that.
Sabi pa ng resolusyon, dapat daw hilingin ng EU na masutukan ng Philippine government ang mga nagbebenta ng droga imbis ang maliliit na consumer nito. At ikondena ng EU ang mga extrajudicial killing kaugnay ng kampanya kontra droga kabilang ng mga vigilante. Ang mga yan dapat daw imbestigahan. Ang mga salarin dapat kasuhan. Ginagawa naman daw yan, sabi ng PNP. Sa mahigit 4,000 deaths under investigation, mahigit 1,000 na ang inihaing kaso sa korte. Sabi naman ng Justice Department, walang karapatan ang European Union na kwestiyonin ng aksyon ng isang bansa dahil labag ito sa soberanya ng bansa. Pero may kontrol ang EU sa kung paano ito makikitungo sa Pilipinas. Kaya hinihikayat ng resolusyon na gamitin ang mga yan para kumbinsihin ng Pilipinas na itigil ang mga drug-related extrajudicial killing, kabilang ang pagtatanggal ng GSP Plus preferences na meron ngayon ng Pilipinas. Dahil dyan, walang taripa o buwis ang ilang piling produkto na ini-export natin sa Europa. Kabilang sa kondisyon ng GSP Plus ay ang pagsunod sa ilang kasunduang may kinalaman sa human rights, environment, good governance at iba pa. Wala pang reaksyon ng Pangulo na bago nito ay ilang beses nang minura ang EU dahil sa pangingialam umano sa kampanya kontra droga. Ikinatuwa naman ng kampo ni De Lima ang hakbang. Sabay sabing hanggang may mga ganyan ay malamang daw naligtas siya kahit nakakulong. Duda rin daw si De Lima sa binanggit daw ng Pangulo sa pinulong ng majority senators kaugnay ng basihan ng mga kaso laban sa kanya.
You're saying that yung mga evidence against them ay parang international intelligence, no? Supplied, no?
Kanina ay hiniling ng Solicitor General na ibasura ng Korte Suprema ang petisyon ni De Lima na kumukestyon sa legalidad ng pag-aresto sa kanya. Mukha raw kasing pineke ang jurats o panunumpa sa notaryo sa ilang dokumentong inilakip sa petisyon, bagay na itinanggi ng kampo ng senadora. Ako si Jam Sante, ang inyong saksi.
Some members of the European Parliament in a joint resolution called for De Lima's release and raised issues concerning her detention. In response, the Malacanang urged the European Parliament to respect the circumstances that led to the arrest of De Lima over drug-related cases. Presidential spokesman Ernesto Abella assured the European Parliament that the drug cases were not politically motivated. De Lima was arrested on February 24. The senator claimed she was President Duterte's first political prisoner, even though Malacanang officials repeatedly denied that politics was behind the charges against her.
Nakahanap ng kakampi si Senador Laila De Lima sa ilang mambabatas, hindi lang ng Pilipinas, kundi ng European Union. Naghain sila ng panukala sa European Parliament para mag-issue ito ng panawagan para agad na palayain mula sa pagkakakulong ang senadora, bigyan siya ng sapat na seguridad, siguruhing patas ang pagdinig sa kaso laban sa kanya, ibasura ang anilay politically motivated charges sa senadora at itigil ang pangaharas sa kanya. Dapat din daw sabihan ng European Parliament ang Pilipinas na unahin ito ang paglaban sa drug trafficking networks at drug lords imbes sa mga maliliit na taong gumagamit ng droga. Nais din nilang ideklara ng European Parliament ang pagkondena sa malaking bilang ng extrajudicial killings kaugnay ng kampanya kontra droga. Nakatakdang talakayin ngayong araw ng European Parliament ang panukalang ito. Magkakaiba ang reaksyon dito ng ilang kasamahan ni De Lima sa Senado.
If they will push through with their idea or their desire to conduct an independent investigation about this case, I would also welcome it.
They should respect our judicial system and our judicial process. I think kung pagdating sa due process, umaandar na yan ngayon.
Sabi ng Malacanang, mali ang intindi ng ilang European parliamentarian sa sitwasyon ni De Lima.
The lady is being charged with crime, not political persuasions. So I think they ought to respect that.
Ayon naman kay Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre, walang karapatan ang European Union na makialam at questionin ng aksyon ng isang bansa dahil labag ito sa soberanya ng bansa. Wala pang reaksyon si Pangulong Duterte tungkol sa hakbang ng ilang miyembro ng European Parliament, pero matatanda ang ilang beses na niyang minura at ininsulto ang European Union dahil sa umunay pakikialam nito sa Pilipinas at sa kanyang giyera kontra droga. Sa isang pahayag, sinabi naman ni De Lima na hanggat naririnig at naaalala daw siya at hanggat binabantayan ng global community ang patayan sa bansa at pangigipit sa kanya, malamang daw ay ligtas siya kahit siya'y nakakulong. Kanina, hiniling ng Solicitor General na ibasura ng Korte Suprema ang petisyon ni De Lima na kumukestyon sa legalidad ng pag-aresto sa kanya. Mukha daw kasing pineke ang jurat o panunumpa sa notaryo sa ilang dokumentong kasama sa petisyon, bagay na itinanggi ng kampo ng senadora.
Even if it was correct, hindi naman na-invalidate yung petition. It only subject the notary to parang sanction. Pero I'm sure hindi tama yun. Dahil hindi gagawin ng notary yung kung hindi talaga humarap sa kanya sa senadora.
Jam Sante, nakatutok, 24 oras.
Paniwala ni House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez, bahagi raw ang impeachment complaint laban kay Pangulong Duterte sa planong iluklok sa pwesto si Vice President Leni Robredo. Sa panayam ng programang News TV Quick Response Team kay Alvarez, sinabi niyang tila nagmamadali raw si Robredo na humalili sa Pangulo. Wala pang bagong pahayag ang Vice Presidente sa komentong ito ni Alvarez.
Anything is possible, Kasi nga, merong isang babae dyan na nagmamadali, gustong pumalit sa ating Pangulo. Pwede po na merong destabilization.
Pinatutungkalan niyo po ay si Vice President Robredo po.
What we have feared has come. My arrest is an appalling sign of the return of a power-hungry, morally bankrupt, and abusive government. As we expected, the Department of Justice filed criminal cases against me based on manufactured stories accusing me of involvement in the drug trade. According to the mastermind of the filing of cases against me, none other than the President Rodrigo Duterte, she has to face the music. It took months to develop the case. They really have such nerve, all of them. Of course, it would take you this long to manufacture lies against me. There must be so much fentanyl in Mr. Duterte's brain for him to have the gall to boast of the testimonies of their witnesses who are convicted drug lords and whose statements contradict each other. Liars, hypocrites. As reward for testifying against me, this administration, through the Department of Justice, restored the privileges of these inmates, the very same privileges that I put an end to during my term as the Secretary of Justice. The revolting plan: convicted criminals become state witnesses so they can be exonerated from their crimes. They are not the heroes of this administration is forcing us to believe. Where else in the world have you seen drug lords turn into state witnesses? All they have ever done is to follow the badly written script of this administration, to pin me down with baseless accusations for their personal gain. In the very beginning, we have seen the brand of injustice his regime is pushing for. As they continue to malign and persecute me, meanwhile, Mr. Vitaliano Aguirre of the DOJ cuddled prisoners in exchange for their testimonies, and Solicitor General Jose Calida sought the acquittal of the convicted kidnapper and indicted mastermind of pork barrel scandal, Janet Lim Napoles. From the very beginning, I knew that this regime would not seek true justice. The filing of criminal cases against me is only the fulfillment of Mr. Duterte's fixation for revenge against me because of my investigation of the Davao Death Squad when I was then the chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights. The Filipino people know your style, Mr. President, to put the rule of law in your hands, silence your critics, and destroy those who will go against your caprices. Actually, this should no longer surprise us. If the president supported a policy of killing the poor and drug offenders, what is then stopping him from doing whatever comes into his head? Absolve big-time drug lords, acquit a kidnapper and queen of pork barrel scandal, fabricate stories and plant evidence against his critics, which he admitted he used to do when he was a fiscal, and continue killing the poor with impunity. We all know that every action of the president has no clear basis. He does it on a whim, not because it is right or wrong, but because he can do it and we are letting him. This is impunity. Whatever he does, he is confident that he is free from any punishment. This all started when he discovered as mayor of Davao City that he could kill people without accountability. Truth is, even though he has killed over 1,000 in Davao and over 7,000 throughout the Philippines with his death squads and rogue police, he has yet to pay for it under the law. But perhaps now he can be made accountable for his horrible crime against humanity. Recently, the president's right-hand man in the Davao death squad, police officer Arturo Las Cañas, finally revealed himself. Just like his former comrade, Edgar Matobato, he too made a public confession about the killings they carried out in Davao City upon the orders of President Duterte himself. He, together with police officer Samson Sonny Benaventura, are the brains and hands of President Duterte in any of the Davao death squad operations. With the revelation of Las Cañas, there is no more doubt that our president is a murderer and a sociopathic serial killer. This is also the reason why we are experiencing all the madness in government under this regime that is being led by the #1 criminal in the entire Philippines, if not in the whole world, none other than President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Let's not ask anymore. How come there seems to be a reunion of questionable characters under the Duterte regime? From the Marcoses to Arroyo and up to Napoles, together with the lawyers and operators. Also, there are the main enforcers of President Duterte's orders, Secretary Aguirre and Solgen Calida, who are among the abusive and arrogant officials in our government. Let's no longer ask why, during the Duterte regime, all the criminals, the corrupt, the savages, and those with evil souls have returned and are thriving. I speak before you with honor and integrity as my only defense. As former Human Rights Chairperson and Justice Secretary, I can look everyone straight in the eye and say, my track record as a public servant has never been tarnished by any wrongdoing except until now based on manufactured lies. I have never used and will never use my position for my personal interest. I say, I am innocent. I have never betrayed, and I will never betray the trust of my country and the Filipino people. Clearly, this administration has evil and dangerous plans to make an example of me, to intimidate, silence, and destroy anyone who dares challenge them, to draw public attention away from the government's abuses and failures, and to cover up their most murderous war on drugs. In the past 7 months, the death toll of his war, or of this war, has exceeded the number of deaths recorded during the 14 years of martial law and the Marcos regime. The fight is not mine alone. This fight is our fight for the victims of government's failed war on drugs, especially for 7-year-old Sanino Butucan of Cebu, 5-year-olds Danica May Garcia of Pangasinan and Francisco Manosca of Pasay City, and 4-year-old Althea Fem Barbon of Negros Oriental. Perpetrators of these hideous crimes have no conscience. Even worse than them are those in power who allow this to happen. From all this violence killings and crooked governance of the Duterte regime, clearly, I am not the public enemy number one here, but this regime who has no respect for basic human rights, especially the right to life. Since the start of his term, Mr. Duterte has brought in the entire machinery of the state to silence me and to destroy my person, credibility, and honor as a woman. If they can do this to a sitting senator, what is stopping this administration from doing the same to ordinary Filipinos? If they think that by chaining me, I will turn my back on my principles, they are mistaken. Instead, they have encouraged me more to pursue truth and justice. I have long prepared myself to be a political prisoner of this regime. Rest assured that I will answer all the accusations against me in the proper time and venue. To the best of my ability, I will fulfill my duties as Senator of the Republic. Even in prison, even as I continue to be persecuted by this government for as long as I live, I will continue fighting the good fight up to my very last breath. To Mr. Duterte, stop the killings now. Stop harassing me. Stop this madness. Instead, the Filipino people are begging for your undivided attention to address the myriad problems our country faces. I call on the members of the Fourth Estate to guard our fragile democracy against attempts to curtail our rights and freedom and against the return of dictatorship. I urge people of conscience everywhere, please pray for the Philippines. I ask you to remain vigilant and continue to fight so that true justice and respect for human rights prevail. Let us not allow this administration to continue violating our Constitution, disrespecting our laws, and taking the lives of our countrymen. I am hopeful that we will not remain silent in the face of the daily killings taking place in our midst, the flagrant violations of our fundamental rights, and the deliberate efforts to poison our minds and that of our children. Let us fight for our rights. Let us fight for justice. Let us fight for democracy.
Mapagbibigyan ng Supreme Court yung kahilingan ko na ipalaya na po ako. Kasi ang gusto lang naman po talaga nila ay patahimikin ako. Inosente po ako. Hindi po ako drug lord or drug queen. Hindi po ako corrupt. Hindi po ako nangurakay tao. Habang patuloy po ang patayan at mga kasinungalingan, hindi po ako kailangan, hindi ko po kayang manahimik lamang. At mga kasinungalingan, hindi po ako mananahimik.
Cash remittances of overseas Filipinos also grew by 8.6% in January, amounting to $2 billion. We're open to a few questions.
May questions? Follow-up sa statement? Other issues? TV5, Maricel Halili.
Sir, may we have your reaction about the impeachment complaint filed by Magdalo representative against the president?
Well, first and foremost, no treason, betrayal of trust, bribery, graft, and corruption, high crime, and culpable violation of the Constitution has been committed. We reiterate that the so-called extrajudicial are not state-sponsored, and the President has made sure that he will not turn a blind eye to all uniformed personnel who violate and abuse their power. No one is truly above the law, not even the President, but the administration upholds due process and is ready for the consequences of his actions that takes consideration, above all, the interests of the Filipino people. However, having said that, it does seem like part of a larger scheme of things.
Sir, what do you mean larger scheme of things?
Well, it just seems rather dramatic that everything seems to be so coordinated at this stage, with acts of trying to discredit the administration and trying to throw it in doubt.
So, sir, do you see this as a part of the destabilization plot against the government?
It certainly seems like an outline.
Sir, at least yung mga members or representative of Magdalo na nag-file ng impeachment, do you think meron pa rin silang influence somehow sa military to support their move?
Well, they're trying to make, at this stage it looks like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel,
Follow-up question, Joseph Morong, followed by Hannah.
Sir, fill in the blanks for us. We don't want to do that for you. When you say dramatic, coordinated, what other events do you think are kind of synchronized?
I cannot foresee that. We simply just look at the outline, what's happening out there, then we observe and we make observations.
So you don't see any connection with yung statement video message ni Vice President Robredo and the narcotics group in the UN, other things like that?
Well, are you referring to her which statement you're talking?
Video message her, I think, to the UN body on narcotics.
Well, at this stage, let's put it this way. It just seems too well coordinated. Events like these seem to be too well coordinated as to just be coincidental.
Follow-up, Hannah?
Sir, do you think makakastand po yung impeachment complaint? Makakatayo, considering hindi pa naman nakaka 1 year ang president na nakaupo sa
Hayaan po niyo silang, hayaan po silang magsalita at habulin yung gusto nilang mangyari.
Yung recent video po ni Vice President, you think hindi kasama sa destabilization plot ang Vice President?
Wala pa akong sinasabing hindi siya kasama. Sinasabi lang natin mukhang may mga kaganapan na sabay-sabay na nangyayari. Hindi naman natin masabi siguro natin ganyan. Pero mukhang napakalinis ng mga kaganapan.
Nakita na po ba ng Pangulo ang video?
Hindi ko pa siya natanong.
Kasi tatanong ko sana, sir, kung napanood niya, kung nagbago ba yung isip niya na hindi kasama yung Vice President doon sa Destab plot against him.
Hindi ko pa siya natanong.
Okay, Rosalie, UNTV.
Sir, sinabi niyo po na parang coordinated yung mga pangyayari at meron po itong patutunguhan. So, sa Malacanang po ba, cause of concern na po ito?
Hindi naman cause of concern na natataranta ang mga tao. Nakikita lang, napapansin.
So, ano po ang atin pong course of action sa mga...
Patuloy po tayo sa nation building. Huwag po tayong pawawala dyan sa puntong yan. Marami po talagang ingay na nangyayari mula sa gilid. Pero tuloy-tuloy po ang presidente na gumagawa. Sabi nga niya, napakaganda po ng pagkakasabi niya, I have built a city and I am building a nation. And I think Filipinos should start really just, strengthening their backbones and just start doing their part and carrying the weight of nation building. There's so much noise coming from the circles, from the outside circles, and it just shows a sign of, the sign of lack of unity and stuff like that. But it would all help us if we just bear the brunt together. I think we should just grow up.
Follow-up. Okay na tayo, Ross. Follow-up, Joseph Morong.
Sir, do you think, considering that impeachment is a numbers game, do you think it will prosper at the House of Representatives?
Really, it's not for us to be speculating about these things. Just let them be.
Do you think that the president will ask his allies in Congress to do something about it?
The president always allows his allies, so-called, to act independently of him. He has never manipulated in that sense. The way political intrigues are usually sown. No. He is an extremely democratic. Whatever the noise is about the way he makes his choice, he acts, he's always respected the independence of his so-called colleagues.
Okay. Other issue or no more questions? Other issue, okay. TV5, Maricel Halili.
Sir, may we have the details about the dinner of the president with some senators? How come that some other senators are excluded?
I don't know about the exclusion, but definitely I think the inquirer should check their copy. Yes, I mean, you said that I described the dinner as private and lovely. I said lively. There's a world of difference between I and O.
Okay, sir, what was discussed during the dinner, sir? Kasi is it a loyalty check? Just to clarify.
No, I think JB Ejercito, Senator Ejercito was very clear about that. They discussed a number of items. I think you have the same set of information that I have. Basically, they talked about legislative issues. There was nothing. It was not called in order to find out, like you said, loyalty check. It was updating.
Here's a microphone. Question, Hannah.
Sir, updating of what po? You said updating. Not loyalty check.
Hold on.
Pinagpapaliwanag ng Philippine National Police si Vice President Leni Robredo hinggil sa alegasyon nitong palit-ulo scheme ng PNP. Una nang sinabi ni Robredo na hinuhuli pa rin ng PNP ang mga kaanak na mga drug dependent kapag nabigo silang arestuhin ang tunay na target. Maliban dito, nagsasagawa raw ng warrantless search ang pulisya sa mga urban areas. Ayon kay PNP spokesman Leonardo Carlos, dapat ipaliwanag ng Vice-Presidente ang kanyang akusasyon at kung may sapat ba itong basihan. Nilinaw naman ni Carlos na hindi kailanman hinuhuli ng PNP ang mga taong wala sa kanilang listahan.
The Philippine National Police is asking Vice President Leni Robredo to provide details on her palit-ulo allegation in connection with the anti-illegal drugs campaign of the government. PNP spokesperson Leonardo Carlos said that if true, such practice is not condoned by the AFP. According to Robredo, the scheme involves the apprehension of relatives if the wanted drug suspects cannot be found. The vice president has also accused the police of abuses, including warrantless searches in urban poor areas in Metro Manila.
Yung po sinasabing palit-ulo na kung wala, hindi pumunta yung drug suspect o yung drug personality, ang kapalit ay yung kamag-anak. Clearly, hindi ito tama. Kung ito'y nangyayari o nangyari, ang hiling namin ay maging specific para yung, kasi hindi nga ito sanction. Hindi ito, wala doon sa pulisiya o procedure ng taphang o tukhang.
In Newsbreak, ipinagtataka ng Philippine National Police kung bakit kailangang iparating ni Vice President Leni Robredo sa International Anti-Drug War Network ang kanyang expose sa umano'y palit-ulo scheme sa Oplan Tokhang 2. Ayon kay PNP spokesman, Police Senior Superintendent Leonardo Carlos, sa halip na makipag-ugnayan sa PNP, ay agad nakita ang video ni Robredo sa International Anti-Drug Network. Samantala, binigyan diin ni Presidential Spokesman Ernesto Abella na misinformed si VP Robredo sa kanyang paratang na palit-ulo scheme na ginagawa umano ng PNP sa kanilang anti-illegal drugs operations. Sinabi ni Abella, hindi dapat basta nagpapaniwala ang Vice-Presidente sa mga walang basehang alegasyon mula sa mga questionable sources. Ayon pa kay Abella, hindi lamang nauunawaan ni Robredo ang nasabing sistema kung saan nagbibigay ng commitment ang isang drug personality na tutulong sa ikakaaresto ng mas malaking isda sa sindikato ng illegal na droga kapalit ng mas magaang na kaso. Dagdag pa ni Abella, kamakailan lang ay nilagdaan na ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang Executive Order 15 na lumilikha sa isang Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs and Anti-Illegal Drug Task Force kung saan pinagkakaisa ang buong burokrasya sa pagpapatupad ng anti-illegal drugs campaign. At yan po naman ang aming mga nakalap na balita at impormasyon para sa PTV Newsbreak. Ako po si Audrey Goriseta.